Hello, everybody. This is Alia Jamal, the love coach, and we are meeting for another love circle. And today we are talking about self-worth. And this is a topic we have discussed before. Um, and as I continue to learn and grow, there is a different aspect of it that I'll be adding to today's conversation. So I am very, very excited. So let's start what self-worth is. The way I understand it, self-worth is our own internal self-image. The way I see myself. As as we go through life, as we look at the things that are happening around us and how we are interpreting it inside of us, it starts to change how we see ourselves. It starts to change our own worth. For example, let's say you used to trust yourself a lot. That is how you saw yourself in your early 20s. And then something happened. Maybe a close friend betrayed you and you just stopped trusting yourself. Like, I didn't make the right decision. I didn't make the right choices. So your own internal self-image shifted, and also it shifted your self-worth. You're not seeing yourself as worthy as you did before. All of this is unconscious. No one is going to come out and say, hey, I just don't feel worthy. It does happen when we start digging deeper and when we start to hear that voice. So if you're very familiar that there's this loud voice that tells you you're not worthy, you are aware of that low self-image that you're carrying, that is a perfect place and example when you would want to work on it and just go way deeper. Go deeper and heal it. You can reach out to me, you can find another mentor to work with, but once it exposes itself to you, that is the time to work on it. Don't delay it. And you'll know by the end of it, why not delay it? Uh, the reason it's so important to be working on our self-worth at all times, because what we receive matches that unconscious worth that we are holding on to. And that unconscious does get programmed between age of 0 to 7. Whatever we saw, whatever we absorbed, whatever we were told, it all comes together to dictate that self-worth. So if you were raised by parents who just told you, hey, you're ugly, you're so black, you're so white, you're so yellow, you're so pale, or you're so weak, or you're so fat. I mean, there are parents who are just openly in their mind helping kids. I have personally seen that. Um, when that kind of narrative is going on, that child is gonna grow older with a very low self-worth. They might be very successful when it comes to their education and the career and everything, but internally, they feel this tiny. And that is how the self-worth gets programmed. Another way is maybe the family was wonderful, the parents were wonderful, but they saw something else happening externally. Maybe they saw something happening in the neighborhood. They saw something happening in school. They saw something happening on the TV that sent them the message that you're not good enough. You cannot do what you think you can do, or they got bullied. So if any of you got bullied while it was in childhood or in your adult life, it does impact your self-worth. And unfortunately, we don't talk about bullying after we come out of high school or middle school, but a lot of bullying happens in adult life too. So again, if you're getting bullied, whether it's your workplace, whether it's in your family, extended family, among friends, this is something not to be taken lightly. It does impact your own internal self-image. It impacts your self-worth. So how does low self-worth impact your life? Because if there's no reason, why do we want to do this for? We rather do something else. the way it impacts your life, again, self-worth is in our unconscious mind. When we desire something in life, we desire it from our conscious mind. Maybe you saw something and you're like, that's what I want. That's your conscious mind. So your conscious mind is sending out a signal, and all the particles are coming together of energy to create that physical thing in your life. But here's the thing, your unconscious mind is sending out a signal too. Now, your conscious mind says, I want this, and your unconscious mind is saying, I am not worth it. It could be a relationship. It could be a level of external success. It could be a bank balance. It could be a house. It could be a specific car. It could be a pet. It could be kids. It could be anything that you want to have. Now, you want it so bad, but there's another signal going on that's canceling the signal that you're sending, or it's much stronger. So you keep attracting that. And that is when we are like, okay, what's wrong with me? Why things never work out? Everybody else got it. I didn't get it. What is so wrong with me? So we go even more against ourselves. So we start with so low self-worth and we go even lower. We start to attack ourselves. So start it at that place. What do you want in your life? Whatever it is that you want, write it down. If you've been working on that for a while and it hasn't happened, most likely your internal image does not match up to what you are trying to create outside of you. It just doesn't. Unconsciously, it doesn't. So that is when you will start doing the work on increasing your self-worth, bringing it higher. So that is where you can ask, for example, I'm just going to take an example of owning a home. If you want to get a home that's, let's say, 6 or 7 bedroom, which is a little bit higher than, you know, the first home. Usually people go for 2, 3 bedrooms or sometimes even 4 bedroom. You want a little higher tier house, but your internal voice says you can only have a townhome. And it just keeps coming. Every time you put that goal, it just keeps coming. So that is when you would want to do the work that I'm going to show you to increase your worth. You want to embody it first before you start seeing it outside of you. It does seem like a lot of work, but if you start living life this way, you're going to be doing so much less work outside of you because the energetical work is done within you. And what that is, really being able to see yourself have whatever you want, not just deserve whatever you want. Sometimes we put out words out like that and it's like, oh, I deserve this or I don't deserve this. Deserve is a word that is not used in my household. And whenever my son brings up, I tell him, you cannot use that word. Everybody deserves everything, but do you believe it? Do you see yourself having it? I can label myself, oh, I deserve it. I'm going to go for it. And then I'm going at it for 5 years and then I don't get it. It only validates that I don't deserve it. But how about I put the deserving to the side and I start looking at, can I see myself having it internally? Can I close my eyes and be with that thing? How does that feel? What voice is going to come up in my head? What do I need to say to that voice? Who am I that I can make that happen? I can have what I want. That is all internal image that dictates our self-worth. So if you are after a goal for a while, it has not happened, that is the part that you need to work on. And if you don't work on, you're going to keep feeling like you're chasing your tail, or you're just a hamster on a hamster wheel, and you're not good getting anywhere. And we all have a couple of goals that feel like that. I personally know that there are some things that I have put out to achieve, and it's been piece of cake, and there's some I had to do the work, and there's some I'm still working on it. When you do know that what kind of work needs to be done, and usually it's always self-worth, that internal image needs to be changed, that unconscious image needs to be changed, then you don't give up. And you can dream as big as you want, but then you need to also be ready to do the work to change that internal image. So what this work does, it makes you unstoppable. You're just gonna keep going after one thing after the other. And as you get pro in it, it just keeps getting easier. For example, let's say right now you live in a townhome and you want to get a 7-bedroom home. That's what you want. So you do this internal work, you shifting your true self-worth, you do that, embody it, do it every day. Let's say within 2 years or a year, you have it. So once you have it, you're like, oh my God, it really works. I've been trying to get here for past 5 years. I couldn't. And when I switched something slightly within me and I focused internally how I see myself, boom, this thing happened. Now, maybe you want to get a 15-bedroom home. You want to live in a mansion. Maybe you want to even add, like, you like horseback riding, so you want to add a stable to it too. You want to add an orchard to it too. You want to go grand. You'll end up doing this exact same work to match your internal image and your self-worth to that level. That's why it's so very important that we do this work, because it dictates every single area of your life. For example, when we complain that I don't have good relationships, I keep running into one bad guy after the other, or one bad girl after the other, what's going on? Our own internal image is not where it needs to be for us to attract a loving, caring, committed partner. So instead of blaming all the good ones are taken, go inward, do the work, and that is when you can create any kind of relationship. And you'll keep doing that work every single day. You'll think it's a destination, you get there and then you're done. No, you'll keep doing that work every single day as long as you're in this body. Once we are out of this body, God knows what we end up doing then. But as long as we are in this body and you want to keep moving forward in your life, you will be doing this work. So the next thing I want to get into is why we even have such a big problem with this whole worth thing. I have never talked to anybody who said I never had a worth issue. People who are really honest with themselves, and they are digging deeper and they are connecting with themselves, and they are really being very uncomfortably honest with themselves. So that is what I want to highlight. We are taught conditioned worth. We are taught that when you have a master's degree, you're worthy. You are somebody then. When you become a doctor, you're somebody then. Otherwise, you're nothing. So the conditioned worth is, it has to be external. So then you do become a doctor, you do become the best lawyer, but then you're miserable inside. Your relationships are suffering, and sometimes you're carrying a lot of debt as well, and you're not in peace. So what is wrong with that picture? What is wrong with that picture is we have been conditioned for external worth and not internal worth. So if the worth is external, if I am taught that I would be a worthy woman, If I'm married, I'll be a worthy woman if I have a son and a daughter and a white picket fence and a luxury car, and also let's add a pet in there too. And I am going for a luxury vacation. I'll be chasing that. But every time I'll get one more thing, I still don't feel happy within me. It's not filling the hole that was put in here when I was taught conditioned worth. So when I was taught, hey, you're not worthy, but whatever you can do, whatever you can achieve will make you worthy. So where is worth outside of me? That's why most of us feel so stressed, so anxious, so afraid all the time, even though we are living our dream life sometime. Last year, one of the ladies I was talking to, when we had a conversation, who wanted to achieve all that, and I said, do you see you're already living that life? But because we don't feel worthy, we are chasing it. We don't even recognize when we get there, because we are just looking for something that's an illusion. Like no matter how much money we accumulate, we can still feel very empty here. But what true worth does, it makes you feel whole here. It makes you feel complete. It makes you feel you're somebody, even without you have anything. So what I want you to do right now is really look at this condition worth. What have you been taught? What have you told yourself when it comes to worthiness story? What do you need to have in order for you to feel worthy, or in order for you to be somebody? Maybe it was given to you in a different terminology. What do you have to be in order to be somebody for somebody? Maybe it's your mom, maybe it's your dad, maybe it's the society in general, maybe it's your grandparents, maybe it's your siblings. What is it? Was it a higher level of education, or being a certain level of financial success by a certain age, having a specific type of career? Make that list and then look at that list and write next to it, this is not who I am. You have to declare that this is not who you are. That is when we really shift towards your true worth. Yes, we are living in this world. We do need money, we need education, we need all of that, but that does not define you. You can go back to school and you can get 4 different masters and even a PhD because you really want to learn, or maybe you really want to take that knowledge and implement it in your career, and you want to really serve humanity that way, but it cannot define you. It cannot be your worth. You cannot go back to school thinking, hey, if I get one more master, I think then people will respect me more, or they will praise me more, or they'll be more impressed by me. Now, these are those internal conversations that only you know. No one else knows that. And no one would ever find out. That's why this is the invisible work we do. It's all between you and you. No one can ever get even a clue about what's going on in your head. Outside, you could look a very confident person, so okay in your skin, very happy, very successful. Internally, you're breaking apart and you feel like a blob. That is where you have to be very honest with yourself. So right next to that list, write down, this is not who I am. Or you can write, this is not what defines me. Or you can say, this is not what I am worth. So I wanted to talk a little bit about conditioned worth so we can separate. I am not my gender. I am not my body. I am not my bank balance or my bank account. I am not the car that I drive. I am not the house that I live in, or how many kids I have or don't have, or the kind of life partner I have or don't have. That does not define. my worth. But also keep in mind, most people in the society do define worth that way. So if you have decided to separate from that concept and really go after what's true, also keep in mind, other people have not separated from that. So maybe tomorrow you'll have a conversation with a family member who's so ingrained in, what do I have to show for myself? I am just turning 40. What can I show for my 40 years? They are looking for that worth outside of them. And you might be just sitting there trying to convince them because now you have discovered the truth. Don't do that. Do yourself a favor. Don't try to convince other people, because then you'll be just arguing and fighting with all your loved ones. What you can do, you can embody the energy of your true worth, and you can listen to other people. There's so much kindness and compassion. And you would realize a moment would come where they would become aware you're not getting sucked into their drama. You're not spinning while they are talking. That is the moment they're going to say, what do you think about it? What do you think about all this? That is when you can share your personal journey, your own opinion, and what you think about yourself in this moment. I'm just giving you a warning, because sometimes when we discover the truth and we are shifting, we want everybody else to shift, but everybody come to that level of honesty within themselves when they are ready. When they are not ready, we cannot pull them along on their soul path. If you're here, you're listening to this, you're ready for it. You've been asking for it. So let's move into what is true worth. Who you really are, what defines you, what makes you so worthy that you don't even have to do anything to be worthy, because you already are. So that is your soul. It's not your physical body. It's your soul that is your true worth. Because your soul was created before the body was created. And when the higher power created your soul, it created it with the same abilities that our creator has. We have the creative power. We also have the free will, which most people spend lifetime understanding. What is free will? How do I use it? And they just get so confused. I think I'll just do a separate conversation on free will. You have the power to create your own life. You can create as much as you want. There's no limit to you. You are an unlimited being. But all of that exists inside of you. You have to close your eyes, go inward, look at it, connect with it, feel it. Feel the presence of your soul. Feel the energy of your soul. And know that before you even started walking, you already had the ability within you to walk. Before you started running, you already had the ability within you to run. Before you started speaking, before you started, you went to college and you did all these amazing things, you already had the ability to do that. What else do you have the ability to do that you don't even know that? That is your worth. That is your potential. So if we are following this, our true worth, every single human on this planet is worthy, 100%, to have, to be, to do whatever they want to do. Even the person who is struggling in poverty in third world country, even a person who's like at top and the top and the top of the richest person, still have the ability to have or be, do more. The homeless person have the same ability. The person sitting in the prison have the same ability. We all have same worth. And what worth is the ability to be, do, have whatever we want. Now, if that is truly true, why don't we use it? Why don't we see ourselves that way? Why don't we harness that power to create what we came here to create? Why we all are not having the best life possible? And some of us are like, struggling in certain areas, and it just keeps getting harder and harder. It gets a little bit better and then it gets harder because of that conditioned work. And that is the work I was talking about. That is the work that you'll have to do every single moment. From this moment on, you would be paying attention to, am I switching towards the conditioned worth, or am I truly in my true worth, which is your soul's power? Another way you can look at it, that when ego develops and that only exists in our human experience. Ego does not exist in your spiritual experience. So when we leave this body, we don't take ego with us. It is one of the faculties of the personality. Personality is ego. So ego is the separation from your source. What source is? That light that lives through you, that soul that lives through you, the direct connection to your creator. When we start thinking in a way that we don't embody that oneness, when I say, oh, what if I fail? I am thinking in a way as if I'm separate from my source, because source never fails. There's no failure. You attempt it again, and you keep attempting it, and you are going to learn how to do it right eventually, and that's success. What were you doing before? You were not failing. You were just learning. That is how source would look at it. That is how your soul would look at your personal experiences. But that is not how we are taught to look at it. So now a beautiful journey begins in your life where you start to see what I am taught and who I truly am. And in the beginning, it feels so confusing because all you can think of is what you were taught. You can't even get to, okay, if I'm not this, then who am I? This is like empty space here. That is where meditation comes very handy. Or you can just spend alone time with yourself. Go in nature. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Look in your inner world. What do you see there? Who are you? Let everything get very quiet inside of you. In that stillness, you're going to start having a knowing. And that knowing is going to start becoming so bigger that eventually it's going to become so bigger that whatever you've been conditioned becomes smaller. That voice just becomes smaller, and this other voice of knowing becomes so big and so loud. And that is when you can truly start tapping into who I really am. Who do I have the ability to become? But also know it's going to be a battle every single day. This voice is going to say, oh, you're this, you cannot be that. And then you'll be reminding yourself, I am the soul. I am divine. I am unlimited. And that is my true worth. There's I had something on here, opening and extracting. Okay, I can't even remember what that meant. I had something on my note. So there's that quote that I want to share with you, just to make it solid. We have talked about this quote in our previous sessions as well. The truth about you is so lofty that nothing unworthy of God is worthy of you. So anything that you don't consider worthy of a higher power is not worthy of you. So when you're filtering the conditioning, if you were told, for example, I was told you're nobody without a man, unless you're married and have a man, you're nobody. Is that something I'll say to God? Is that even true? No, it's not. So I can just drop it. I don't have to carry it with me. See how I just redefined my worth so fast, keeping this code in mind, treating myself how I would treat a higher power. So the next one is choose then what you want in these terms and accept nothing you would not offer to God as wholly fitting for him. So if there's anything you would not offer a higher power, don't offer it to yourself. So the internal image that we were talking about, if you're not going to tell a higher power the S word, I call it the S word when we call ourselves stupid, don't call yourself that. Not even as a joke. Don't do that because our words are powerful. Most likely, someone else called you stupid and you just picked it up and you said, yeah, that is true. That is conditioned worth. Unless you become a millionaire, you're a stupid person. So then you're trying to become a millionaire, so you're not a stupid person. That is conditioned worth right here. And most of us, we just live that way. But when we start to embody our true worth, when you can feel the worthiness of the soul, the unlimited soul that is in your body, you don't have to have the highest education to feel worthy. You still will, but it will not be attached to your worth or any physical possession outside of you, the fame, being the best-selling author, any of that, or people praising you or not praising you, any of that is not going to define your worth because you're not attached to it anymore. Before you can even have it all, you can feel it all, you can be it all, and you can live it all. And that is, my friend, is your true worth. You don't have to go and change anything about yourself to feel worthy. All you have to do is remember whatever thoughts that come to your mind, if they were conditioned or they are coming from your soul. If you can tell that difference in every single moment, you can master your worth. And you are going to put a goal in front of you and you are going to do this work and you're going to achieve it. And then the next one, and then the next one. Maybe the first one would take a little bit of a longer time because you're rewiring your unconscious belief about yourself, that your worth is not your possession or what is something outside of you. Your worth is who you are inside of you in this exact moment. And nothing has to change for you to be, do, have whatever you want. So that is all, my friends, for today. If you have any question, reach out to me. If you struggle with low self-worth and you're ready to do that work, reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. If you're randomly watching this video somewhere, just Google Alia the Love Coach and you'll be able to find me and let's have a conversation. I'm sending you all so much love. I'll see you next Thursday. Bye.